So now I'm going to get into the actual section called the Muse. Every chapter, let that car go by. Every chapter has this notes from my Muse section. Perfect chance for a sip while the car goes by.
Cold mocha.
By the way, Trevor bought this mocha for me. Thank you, Trevor.
Oh,
Appreciate that.
that's the least I can do.
Very appreciative. Okay, now all I'm going to do probably for the rest of this time is probably, even if I don't make it all the way to the bottom of the hour, this one, and I'm going to stop there. And I want to write these because read these. This is what I came here to do. This writing is different from the other writing. If I was ever tempted, Trevor, to think, and I'm not tempted, but if I ever was tempted to think that there was something more to this Muse thing than just my own imagination, it would be the fact that when this stuff comes out, and I'm not complimenting myself, when this stuff comes out, I don't have to edit a word afterwards. It comes out perfect. I mean, every punctuation, just maybe a misspelling, because I'm typing these things out. Typically, I'm mobile, I'm out in the wilderness or riding my motorcycle. I have to pull over to the side of the road and type this stuff out. It's like listening to someone dictating in my head. I'm just okay, I got it. Hold on, let me get this stuff down before you leave, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's like that. Then you'd be tempted. I'm looking up, like, you know, like God speaking to you or something like that.
Yeah.
And I know that lots of poets and stuff and the like have talked about that this is the inspiration. I don't think that's the case. I think this is just, it's almost like a confluence of energies in my mind, of ideas and energies and circumstance and environment that just come together to flow the words out, and they just come out just the way I like it. And the reason I don't have to edit it is because at my best, that's how I'd want to write, and that happens to be my best moment. So, but the problem is, it may not be evidently clear to anyone else other than me. Like, you'd almost have to be in that circumstance, in that environment, have my life and my experience for that little bit of moment to mean anything to anybody else. So this is the part of the book, these parts are the part I worry the most about, that they won't mean anything to anybody. But for me, they are the most important part of the book. So let me, verses, this other stuff over here, this prose, constant revision. I write it out, I will go back, and the book I gave yesterday to a young man who I met, every time I have a new copy, I'll write over here in the corner the number of times that I've read the book to go through and edit it. It was on 23. Reika says, "Hi Sato, I've been watching your videos for 8 years now. Your walking in Japan videos are the first ones that I watch. I still watch you today. Yay, thank you. I know it's nothing like Japan anymore." I appreciate that, Reika. So it's on 23. So that means that I have to read through this thing over and over to refine the language, to get the grammar just right. You know, and so, but I skip over the Muse sections because I've read them after like 5 times and not making any changes. I realize those things are done. So here we go. Okay, so if I was to have an opportunity to sit down with my grandchild or my great-grandchild, this would be a special moment for me to be able to share with them some of these little thoughts, and hopefully maybe they'll find their mark some way. And I understand that they may not, because each life is its own. Notes from my Muse. It's flattery to call my Muse a corpse, as she is so much less. Having never been alive, she has no still heart, no snuffed out consciousness. No still heart, no snuffed out conscious, no darkened lattice of memory, and certainly no legacy of love and caring to echo through time in life's wake. I call her dead by means of convenience, to call attention to what she has not, to highlight how far she is removed from the dearest possessions of life, and to enshrine her grave indifference with the startling, fearful aspects of what cannot possibly love, and has more in common with sand than the buoyant, striving, animate community of life. In this way, I'm trying to, in this passage, short little passage, I'm trying to impart what it might I mean by calling my Muse a corpse, and that calling her corpse is actually flattery because she was never alive. And at least if you call something a corpse, that indicates that it once had a life that we can honor and recognize, right? But you wouldn't give that honor to a stone.
No, definitely not.
Right. And so I'm actually complimenting my Muse, I'm giving her more than she deserves in calling her a corpse, because she gives me something that appears very beautiful and lifelike, but in fact it's not. And what I'm trying, so I try to get at, where does that come from? Where, if she was never alive, how is it possible that she imparts to me these qualities that I cherish so much? And so I describe things like the 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 snuffed out conscious. No, she has no darkened lattice of memory. So there's no brain that is stopped living. There's no structure. Of course, when we die, all the neurons are still in there, the structure, the lattice, the framework, but it's no longer alive, so it can no longer work. She never had that. She never had the memory. She had no legacy of love. No one ever loved her, and no one ever cared for her to echo through time in life's way, because when we die, those who love us will remember us for a while, and while they're still alive. It says, I call her dead by means of convenience, because I want to highlight the fact that she is not, to call attention to what she has not, to highlight how far she is removed from the dearest possessions of life, and to enshrine her grave indifference with the startling, fearful aspects of what cannot possibly love, and has more in common with sand than the buoyant, striving, animate community of life. So I recognize my muse as being the inspiration of the empty, that comes of the emptiness that I have discovered in nature. That startling and fearful thing that causes me to turn around and embrace life rather than fixate on death and the nothing beyond.